Hello, this is Christy. I would like to show you today how to customize some elements in your Riverside Studio, namely the logo and branding. As you know, Riverside has a brand kit. It's a series of settings and colors and logos and elements that you can then apply to your episodes or short clips automatically. But let me show you how to customize those and how to add a logo. So I will focus on the logo today, and I hope that this helps you customize the logo better because the logo for your podcast or company shows up in everything you do in Riverside. It shows up in the recording studio, it shows up in your studio branding, in your brand kit. It appears on the reusable elements you create, like magic clips and magic segments and the episode itself and all those places. So I like to customize this so that I don't have to worry about it. And I have multiple studios in my account. Maybe your case is different because in the new versions of the plans for Riverside, they only allow one studio per plan. My account has multiple, so I can actually show you here how I customize all of them. So let's go and focus on the logo today. So I've got my studios on the top left of the drop down here. And as you can see, most of the studios have my standard Media Makers logo. That's my logo. I created a new one here. But I have other logos in here for the various other studios. I've got my friend Chris Menard's studio with his logo on it. So also I have Builder Straight Talk. This is the podcast by Michael Creaser, my friend, and he allowed me to show you this. So I'm going to go to this studio, and as you can see, we've got a bunch of interviews in here. So you can see it has no logo on the top left. Now, the first thing is, where can you actually add the logo in? And I will show you after how to actually create the logo and put it in here and export it in the right format. So if you go to your studio settings, that's one way you can do it. Go to the studio settings in here, and you see here you've got design. This, if I click customize right now, it will actually take me inside the studio as if I was recording, and it will show you the logo and other stuff. Let me show you. Click customize. And as you can see, it opens the studio for me. I'm not actually going to record anything. Here we are. And if you look in the studio right there, you've got brand on the sidebar. And here are a bunch of things you can add. These are not all of the things you can add because there's more stuff that you can add in the brand kit. But one of them here, you can add it here or in another place, is the logo. You can click plus in here to add the logo. I'm not going to do it now because I want to show you the thing with the logo, how to make it. I will exit the studio now. And by the way, when you add the logo there, it replaces it on the studio itself as well. So let me show you now. Another place you can create your brand kit is actually when you do an edit. So I'm going to take one of these interviews in here and go to it and go to edit. Click edit down here. Here we go. And in here, you've got the extended brand kit setup. You go again to the right-hand side where it says brand and look at all the stuff you've got. You've got to choose a theme, which is really, you can choose pre-made themes by Riverside, but I don't want to do this. I want to build my own. I can click a logo to add it. I can click a color palette. I can choose different colors, text styles, a design, captions, like a background in here, captions, intros, and outros. All right, so let's focus on the logo. If I click logo, click plus, you see I've got a bunch of logos that I used before. Obviously, none of these are the logo of the Builder Straight Talk podcast, so I need to go and upload that, right? So click on upload, choose an image, and you're done. Now, before we do this, I would like to show you how to actually make a logo that is friendly for this brand kit. What I mean by friendly is the logo needs to have a transparent background. So if you have a logo with like a white background, which is what you want to do. If you want to have a white background, that's up to you. That's great. Look at this logo here by Join Us in France. Or Chris Menard's logo, which has a blue background and different other colors. Mine is transparent. This other one is not transparent. It's got just a white background. So different logos with different backgrounds. But if you want your logo to look cool and professional, you would like to do a transparent background logo. Let me show you how to do this, and I'll show you two ways. You can do it in Canva easily. If you're using Canva, it's quite easy to do. And I will also use Affinity Designer, which is a free program, by the way, recently that was launched by Affinity. And they were also acquired by Canva, and now you can download that for free. And you can use the entire suite of software for free to create your logo and export it the way we need for the Riverside Studio. I will first go into Affinity. So let's open Affinity. I use version 2, but version 3 is free. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. And this file, this is important. I'm going to make it transparent background. What that means is if you go here to color, you can say transparent background. And that's important because when you export now, any element that doesn't have a background will be see-through, and that's what we want. Click Create, and I will bring in the logo that I have for Builder Straight Talk. And we have two versions. We have one that is vector, but it is black and red. This is the brand of the company, of the podcast, really. So this is one version of the logo. I'm going to resize this and put it to the side and show you the other version, which is just white. It may be hard to see here, but I can move it on the dark background and you can see it's actually just white. Now, you know that when you use a logo on video, on top of video, maybe in the top left corner or something like that, it may be difficult to see if the person you're interviewing is on a bright background, right? So your logo is white, the background is white or bright colors. You're not going to see the logo very well. So in that case, you may want to have a version of the logo that is dark or at least darker, right? So where we use this one. So both of these logos are actually accepted versions. So let me export these as a transparent background. These are vector here. So I'm going to resize them quite like this, and I'm going to export them as PNG. PNG is a format of image that has transparent background. It supports an alpha channel, right? So let's go to Export File, and I'm going to go and do Export in here. And you see by default, it just uses the color of the background, makes it all white. I can't see anything. That's not good because it's JPEG. So from the top here, I'm going to use PNG. And look at this, 3000 by 3000 is a good size. I guess you could do less, but 3000 lets you resize it quite big. So you can see the logo in here. There's no background with this checkered background there. So I will do export. And here is the logo. I've got white, no BG, PNG. If I open this, you will see that it has no background here. This is the logo I will add to Riverside. Now, I promised to show you how to create a logo in Canva. Same thing, you go to Canva. So I'm going to start a new design, and I like to go to custom size in here and just put the size here, let's say 3000 like we did before, and pixels, okay? It says podcast here. It's probably because Apple requires 3000 by 3000 for the podcast thumbnails, and it has this label on it. Doesn't matter. I'll create a new design. And on this design, even though the background looks white, actually you can export with a transparent background, right? So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to bring my logo in here. You can drag from your computer or you can go to uploads and upload it here on the left side to uploads. And I've got this logo in here. I added it twice by mistake. So this is the logo. I can resize it. You can design your logo inside of Canva, of course. They have tools for that. Here we go. And I'm happy now. This is how you export this logo as a PNG to use in your studio everywhere. Go to Share. And when you export this, you have to go to Download. And here you choose your size. I will leave it at 3000. You need to check this box, Transparent Background. I'm not going to do it here because I don't pay for Canva. I use other design tools. But if you do, you click Transparent Background and then click Download. That's going to give you a PNG. And by the way, if you don't see PNG in the drop-down here, make sure you select it here. Don't do PDF or whatever they have the default here. Do PNG and then transparent background. And it's going to give you an image with no background that you can upload in Riverside and use it. So let's go to Riverside now. I will click Upload. I will select that logo and open. Here we go. It is a bit cropped because the logo aspect ratio is a bit wide. If you don't like that, by the way, I'm going to upload another version, which I did. I exported a square version with white or blank square around it. So if I'm back in Affinity Designer, by the way, this document I created is actually a square, but the logo isn't. It's rectangular. So if I want to export the entire thing and still keep the background, go again to File, Export, and in here, I can say just export the whole document instead of just the selection area or the selection only. So that's going to give me a square logo, right? Anyway, back to Riverside. Now, this is the logo. Click on it and back. So now this logo is part of my brand inside of Riverside. I can choose like a default placement for this logo. If you look carefully, it is here in the top right corner. Again, what I was saying earlier about light backgrounds, you may want to upload the dark version too. Now, you can't actually upload two logos for a brand kit, but at least you can upload the logo inside of your Studio or Riverside upload files so that you have it available for you in the future. So go back to logos, click logo again, click here to swap the logo, and I will click upload, and I will choose a dark no BG version, right? So I'm going to click open, and there we go. That's the dark version. That's the blue and red version. And look at this. It looks better on a light background right there. So there you go. You can switch to these logos, whichever logo you want. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the white version. And in fact, you can control the placement of the logo on video inside the studio. I'm going to put it top left, and you can see it looks quite nice next to Michael there. So I'm good to go for now. This is the logo placement on the video. Here we go. Other color things. I'm not going to go into these because we may do these in another episode, but color palette is the colors of the brand. You can go and add up to 5 colors. And again, I added red and blue. It's not the exact blue from the logo, but you can click and choose a different version, maybe a darker version. And the red possibly could be a little darker. There you go. These are my color from my brand. You can change the text styles, and you can also choose a background that you can use in the episodes. Anyway, when you apply your brand, Riverside will put all these elements onto your episode or edit or whatever you're doing. It's going to include the logo. It's going to change the captions to the style that you defined in here. It's going to apply the background and all these text styles, intro and outro if you have them, and you're good to go. So now, here's what happened to this logo. If I exit this studio, go out, and refresh my screen, you see now in here, I've got the logo in the studio showing as the logo of the studio. If I scroll in my list, I can see the logo right there. I did not put the square version, by the way, which is why it shows up like cropped like this, but it's fine because it's going to look good in edits. So now what happens if I go and record a new episode? This logo is now available in my recording studio too, for me to have my branding showing every time I record. Watch this. Go back to projects, and I'm going to go new, and I'm going to say record. This will start a new recording session. Here we go. And now you see the logo is right there on the screen on the top left corner. And you can change in the brand here, you can change the placement. This is particularly helpful if you're like streaming from the studio. I'm streaming live maybe and also recording. I want to change the placement of the logo. You can choose top left, bottom right. I don't know why bottom left is not there because probably that's where the lower thirds and the names of people show up. So it doesn't want to overlap it. And you can do an overlay here. You can choose like a different overlay like that. I will show you in another video how to create that. That, by the way, spoiler, is still a PNG image. And you can choose a background and so on. So there you go. That's how you customize your logo and you add it to your studio, to the branding kit, and you use it in your edits and your project. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful. I don't know if you customize your logo like this, particularly if you create podcasts for multiple clients. You probably have multiple studios in your account. If not, if it's just one studio, it doesn't matter. You can still customize this, and this brand kit is included there, and you can apply it to your studio. So stay tuned because I will make more videos about how to create an intro, how to create an outro, how to add an end screen for YouTube in your brand kit or in your assets so you can use them later on, and many more things. Thank you to Riverside for sponsoring this video, and I hope to see you next time.